So I'm going to ask you a question about the $160 million bond to fix the schools. Because that just basically means we're giving Gilbane $160 million. I have watched Gilbane do substandard work and use substandard supplies. And then if you see, and because they're the minimum bidder, but then you go somewhere else where they're not. I watched Carnevale Elementary School and the Gordon School Fieldhouse be built at the same time, and they're like night and day. I work in a school that they painted the inside, and after 6 months the paint starts peeling. Has anyone had paint peeling in 6 months? It's because they use crap. And all you're asking me to do is give Gilbane $160 million. You're in these schools all the time, both of you. So I want to know what we're going to do to fix it so we don't get all this substandard work, because I don't want to give them $160 million. So next year, the things they fixed are broken. Look at Central. We spent millions redoing Central, and Central's filled with mold, and Central's falling apart. Why do I want to give you $160 million when we're not going to do it right the first time?
Okay, let's start with Mr. Dennis.
Well, first of all, Lisa, thanks for the question. And I am in the schools all the time, all right? So I do know what goes on. And that's the problem here. A lot of you don't know what goes on in these schools, okay? I'm telling you right now, the construction hasn't started. When is it going to start? The conversation started a long time ago. People are bragging about what they've been doing and how much money we're getting, but where's it going? Where's the 10% for minority contractors? When is that going to happen? I think we're at like 1.5%, maybe 2%. So those are the things, and you can clap for that. All right, those are the things that we're talking about. So it's about community governance. All right, we need to have these type of meetings beforehand to see who's bidding, why, and where. Where do they come from? Why do we have the same subpar construction folks doing it? And no offense to Gilbane, they're a great company, but it's time's up. All right, it's time for some new construction companies to come in. It's time for some new methods, and it's time to give everybody a fair share when we're trying to build better places for these kids to learn.
There's a lot to unpack there. The first thing is, there's a once-in-a-generation opportunity at the state level. They're making as much as $400 million available, and I want as much of that as possible to come into our city to support our kids in our school buildings. And so we're proposing a $160 million investment so we can rebuild our schools. And what exactly are we going to do? Well, we've been engaging the community over the past year. We've had hundreds of people participate. And we asked, well, tell us your vision. Where do we start? Because we don't want to just rebuild what's already there. We want to prepare our kids for the education, the economy, and the world that awaits them. So we started off with the visioning. Now we're getting into master planning, and then it gets into the very specific plans. So I encourage everyone to continue to be part of this conversation. And through the procurement process, we have an open, transparent process. And everyone is open to bid and come in and be a part of how we rebuild this. But from the beginning, we designed it so that the community leads the way and tells us what they want to see in our city.
Okay.